Alright, well, I've been out here since about 7 a.m. It's almost 4 now. I got stuck on a couple of things. There's been some interesting things that happened and some interesting things that I found. I guess let's just take a look. Motor is still in the van, but everything is completely disconnected. Motor mounts are unbolted, tranny is unbolted, everything's ready to go to pull it out. But before we take it out, I just wanted to do a quick run through of the things that I found that were kind of janky with this this setup that this guy had. The AC is still in here. You had a bunch of Freon, so I didn't want to disconnect all that. So that was kind of fun, leaving the compressor in here and all the hoses attached. Definitely made it a bit more of a challenge. Let's take a look at antifreeze, or what should be antifreeze. It should be green. What do you think yours looks like? Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say your pH was off in your water and this wasn't a good 50-50 mix, and it's been in there for quite a while. So we're gonna need to flush out your radiator and your heater core. And that being said, this is probably the original water pump on this thing. Starting to have some metal eroding at it. That's what happens when you don't use the right mix of antifreeze and water in your motor. It turns that color, and I had that happen on my Ranger, so I know from experience. And there is just a ton of vacuum lines left over from the EFI system. He never bothered to pull any of these extra ports out, and really, they don't need to be here, and it just makes it look terrible. And some of them actually do need to be here. Some control things, like the flow valve on your heater core. So you would have been in for a surprise if you went to take this to, like, Colorado, for instance. Come on, focus. There. And you would have gotten up there, and it would have been some negative temperature out, and your heater wouldn't have worked. Let's see here. We got a bunch of parts. I think I found your main oil leak. And it's gonna be your intake gasket. Now, this guy, when he did the EFI conversion, he swapped out the intake or something, and when he put the gasket back on, he didn't do a very good job. So you can see just pools of oil chilling right there, and it looks like it was all just kind of spitting out there and running down the back of your motor and throwing it everywhere. I'm betting the front's leaking, and maybe even the valve covers are leaking. I took the inspection plate off of your transmission down there, and the flywheel looked actually completely dry. So I'm betting your rear main seal is still good, which is nice. Generally, if that rear main is good, I'm probably... it's a toss-up. I'll take a look at it just to be sure, but if it was holding pressure and not leaking and it's still good, I might not mess with it. I may just put it all back together, but not actually swap out that rear main, because there's a chance that when I do swap it, it could end up leaking. It's just one of those things about rear main seals that you learn. Let's see, there was a couple other things. What else was there? Oh yeah, just this guy must have had stock in an RTV company or something, because he used it everywhere. So your radiator is going to need to be flushed. Might change the transmission fluid too. It looked pretty brown, and it's supposed to be red. Starter looks new. All right, this alternator, this bolt right here, it took me 2 hours. 2 hours to get that bolt out. It wasn't seized in the block. It was seized to the housing of the alternator. So every time I would turn the bolt, the alternator would turn with it, and I could not get it to come out. So what I did was I used the cheater bar because my torque wrench didn't give me enough torque. And then I broke these two. These two tools are now broken. I gotta go get them replaced. That's how bad that bolt was stuck in there. So that's nice. But at least Craftsman has a lifetime warranty. And that still didn't do it after all of that. So I hammered on it for a long time with my impact, and that didn't do it. And so finally, I had to heat up the housing. While at the same time, I hit it with the impact. And after about 2 minutes of that, finally broke free. So man, if your alternator had gone out, you would have never gotten that thing off. Another janky thing, again with the JB weld. I'm guessing the weld broke on this this stud for this this bracket that holds your power steering pump. And what did he do when that weld broke off? Well, he threw a bunch of JB weld on it, and obviously that didn't hold. So I'll have to get that welded back up for you, that's no problem. Let's see here, oil pressure was good on the motor. It looks like it's got a brand new fuel pump. I'll probably end up giving you a new oil pump. And we'll end up regasketing the whole thing, and it should go back together just fine. New plugs, new wires, pretty much everything new that was relatively cheap to do. Get it knocked out. We got really good parts for you here. Aside from the regular gaskets that I like to use, these special rubber gaskets that can be reused. In fact, I've reused them on my 302. Well, the 4 302s that I've had in my Ranger, I still have the same oil pan gasket and same valve cover gaskets. They're really nice. The valve cover gaskets, they're steel, and they're wrapped in this rubber. And you can't pinch them, they don't break, and they never leak. Like I said, I still have the same set on my 4th motor in my Ranger. I got everything to do the tune-up. There's still some parts that I got to pick up. I'm going to go ahead and give you a new timing chain because we'll have the motor apart, so we might as well. I think that's just about it. If I think of anything else, I'll let you know. But yeah, this thing definitely had some issues. And now you kind of know what to look for. I guess the next time you go look at a vehicle, there's all sorts of things you got to look at and check. And this guy definitely did a janky job on this conversion. But I mean, the motor's still good, and that's all that matters. So, broken tools, janky stuff in the motor. The motor's still good, and new parts on the way. Let's get this motor pulled out. We'll take a look at it outside of the van. Wow, that is just a lot of RTV. Crazy. No wonder this thing was throwing out oil like that. Whew. Oil. I guess that motor is out. All covered in oil. I gotta get an actual camera instead of using my phone. Maybe I'll get a GoPro. Anyways, there's some aftermath. I'll tidy all this up and get it pushed back out in the driveway and hopefully get it all knocked out before code compliance shows up. There are some jerks in my neighborhood that don't like people having cars in their driveway that don't look amazing. We're on the south side in San Antonio. Come on, guys.